everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to the Blue's Clues X Law and Order Theory by Alex Bale. Blue's Clues. First off, Blue's Clues. The Killer Kid show that I used to watch. And Law and Order. Those shows are like... how do I even put it? Those fucking shows is if you said fucking Michael Jackson and Slipknot were like siblings in music. It doesn't make any fucking sense. We're gonna see how it goes. So make sure you guys, if you like this content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Okay, let's start the video. And before we do start, what I am probably gonna do is I'm going to break this up into either 2 or 3 videos, just so one video is not overly long. Alright? Just to make that clear. 3, 2, 1, let's go. That music's fucking nostalgic as shit.
Hi there! Blue's Clues is an educational children's TV show about a man named Steve who lives in a magical world where he spends his day talking to inanimate objects, jumping through picture frames, and trying to find clues
weird.
to help understand
yeah, it really does sound
blue
fucking
dog.
weird.
Law & Order is a gritty, realistic police procedural/legal drama that involves New York City homicide detectives trying to solve murders and prosecute criminals. These two shows are very different. You could not find 2 shows more polar opposite than Blue's Clues and Law & Order. And yet, despite this, not only do I believe that these 2 shows exist in the same universe, but I'm also going to be proving that the entire Blue's Clues show is actually just a fantasy inside of the mind of a single Law & Order side character. Yes.
This guy will have to make this so fucking believable. It's not funny, dude. Like, it's actually not fucking funny. Guys, comment down below if you think he's gonna be able to convince me or you at home.
I am being serious. I know that sounds crazy, but
yeah,
stick with me.
You sound like a fucking nutcase.
I'm pretty sure that I have discovered a 29-year-old secret that has never been talked about before today. Get ready, because this is the Blue's Clues Law & Order Theory.
I just say, the fucking Law & Order intro like that is fucking dope. Part 1, the dream theory. Okay, let's hit it.
By far, the most common type of fan theory is the dream theory. The idea that everything happening in a story is actually all just inside of a character's head. Whether they're stuck in a coma, or they're dreaming, or hallucinating, or they're actually dead. Pretty much every piece of media has some kind of dream theory. And it's sort of the lazy, low-hanging fruit of fan theories. You can just apply it to literally anything, and usually there's never actually any evidence besides, "Whoa, this show is so crazy and unrealistic, that must mean it's a dream!" Ah!
Okay, I don't like that theory, I'm not gonna lie. It's clever, but it kind of takes away from the actual, like, show itself. Personally, that's what I think, so.
And surprisingly, the show that seems to have the most of these types of fan theories is
Blue's Clues.
You got Steve is actually schizophrenic, Steve is actually in a mental asylum, Steve is actually a drug addict, Steve is actually in prison, Steve is actually a murderer who killed his parents. Oh my god. Even I made a parody.
Steve killed his parents, and is a schizophrenic, and is a drug dealer? Hear me out. Steve, from Blue's Clues. He's schizophrenic, he did have drugs, shot both his parents in the head. Sounds fucking retarded.
of these theories back in 2017. So yeah, it's a pretty basic, normal kid show. Steve, a 30-year-old schizophrenic who killed his parents, pretends to be a kid. You know, that was before I dedicated my life to making fan theories about kid shows. And look, I understand the appeal of these types of theories. It's fun to take...
Guys, comment down below if you want me to react more of his stuff. 'Cause I know he has like a whole series of like SpongeBob theories and shit. Comment down below if you would like me to see a react to a version, another thing of this. Also, how did we go from this fucking hand to demonic hand? Where the fuck did the drawing board go? The fuck?
Take something innocent from your childhood and give it a dark, edgy plot twist. That's kind of literally my job right now. But why are there so many of these theories about specifically Blue's Clues? Well, I think it's because everything about this show has always felt fake.
True.
Steve is the only real person in this world. He looks like a young adult, but he acts like a child. And he lives alone in a house where he spends his day jumping into picture frames or talking to unseen voices or inanimate objects. It just kind of sounds like I'm describing someone who is experiencing some kind of false reality. Even the way Steve moves around is strange. He never actually leaves the room, he just kind of pretends to walk in place while this fantasy world moves around him. Come on. Obviously that was more of a filming limitation, but it still adds to this feeling of fakeness. But other than these surface-level weird vibes the show gives off, there's never actually been any strong evidence to prove one of these theories. And believe me, I and others have looked. It has been 28 years since this show first came out. You know, you'd think if there was actually some kind of smoking gun here, we would have found it by now. But what if that's because we've all been looking in the wrong place? So, the other day, I stumbled upon an interesting piece of Blue's Clues trivia. A year after Steve Burns filmed the Blue's Clues pilot, he had a small role in an episode of Law and Order. And I thought the idea of seeing Steve from Blue's Clues in a gritty, realistic cop show was kind of funny, so I decided to track down the 1995 episode titled Cruel and Unusual. Just a heads up, this episode deals...
Alright guys, we're probably gonna cut the video off here. I know it has been very short, but this video here is almost 30 minutes long, so I'm trying to space them out, make sure they're not too long. But if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and part 2 will be coming out soon. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.